everyone. Hi.
Good morrow, everyone.
Good morrow, everyone. I am so sorry, but just so you know, it is definitely not my birthday unless there's multiple, like there's got to be a natural disaster. My mother's got to be going through it. So
we share that same birthday energy where it's just like, history has shown my birthday needs to be whatever the fuck I need it to be and not necessarily interact with other people. And I'm putting that energy into the world for Audra for any future birthdays. Like,
I think this is going to be the last birthday that I celebrate because they're always just like some kind of cacophony of like nightmares and destruction, which typically I love.
I was gonna say, and not the good kinds of nightmares and destructions either.
So first and foremost, I did just want to say hello to everybody. This stream has like no real like rhyme or reason. We're just hanging out because I was supposed to hang out with my mom tomorrow, but I don't think that is going to happen now. But so that's why we were doing the stream early, just to celebrate. And I appreciate all of you who are here. So hi, Angie. Hi, Celestial Gutter. Hi, Liz. Hi, Michelle. Sharon, hello. Cecily, hello. Miranda, hey. Alex, hey, friend.
Taurus twins in the house. Or not twins, but Taurus friends. Taurus friends in the house. That's the word.
Yeah, I tried to surprise the Taurus for their birthday, and it happened, but not quite the way I wanted it to.
Okay. Also, the hair twinning was totally accidental. I didn't show my makeup before or any of this. So, yes.
I always feel like I like my makeup until I see it on stream, and then I like suddenly I'm like, it's ugly.
You were like, I'm going to keep it simple so I make sure I feel good. And I was sitting here like, and I have like 10 multi-chromes on my eyes. But,
you know, I think it's like, I swear it's because the way that this looks to me in StreamYard versus how it actually looks live are like two different things.
Yes.
So I think that is like, because the same thing happens when I do my makeup and I'm like filming and I'm just like, what is this trash party?
Well, welcome to the team. Like having hooded eyes and wearing glasses, it's like there is a reason why my eyeshadow literally goes up to my brows. It's the only way you will ever see any eyeshadow I put on my eyes when I have, especially if I have glasses on, even without glasses on. Anyway, I actually interrupted you welcoming everyone. So I just want to say welcome everyone as well.
And yes, I am already sweating again, by the way. Like it's already starting to happen. And I have like this hair that just insists on being directly in my eyeball. But
like, I love my wigs, but I'm always like, why is there a hair directly in a place that
Wait, do you have a green highlighter too?
I have on Space Baby from Terra Moons, which is one of their iridescent multi-chromes, which I thought was just blue to purple, but it's green to blue to purple. I didn't realize that until I applied it to my cheekbones, and then I was like, so I have green highlighter on today. Okay. Cool. Like I cannot in video get the full shifts of everything I have on my face. But yes,
I've never been able to do it, and I try really hard. And I'm like, let me just like, because like on camera, this is gonna, it's missing the orange. There's like orange in this. Oh, there it is. You can kind of see it right here. There's orange in it. And then it's like green, and then like I have on this whole Cleona thing because like I finally opened my Cleonas, y'all. So, but also hi Maisha and hello Felisa. I'm just making sure I got some of the. Hi Allie, hi Ani. I'm so happy to see y'all here. Like I'm trying to say hello to everybody. Hi Ryan, thank y'all for your patience. By the way, like hi Kat, how are you? I'm so excited.
I see Isabel in the chat. Hi,
yes,
I see
Isabel. Did you get the towel off your head? That was the whole thing. And when we were streaming, we were hanging out in the stream with Josh Killer King, and we were just like, and Isabel said something to the effect of like, why do I still have a towel on my head and it's midnight? And I was like, because you're a legend.
It's very relatable. Also, Casey, I feel like there are references out there of actually eyeshadows that are like laser glazer. But if you want a green highlighter, there are so many options. And I generally recommend just buying a really pretty iridescent eyeshadow, because then you can like dull it down for your face or like make it really intense for your eyes. But yeah, I can definitely give you some green recommendations. I actually did that because I was like that over green to pink highlighter, and then I went down a rabbit hole of looking at all my iridescent shadows, and I was like, I'm good.
This is what I have on my cheeks. I got PR from Salt, New York.
Nice.
And so I have on Tangerine because I like it. I like these because they're not too sticky, but I really just wanted, I think one of the things I do like about a cream blush is when I want like a light wash, but I don't want to be like overwhelmed. I think that's what I like about powder blush is when I'm like going all in on blush. I'm like, wow.
That's what this is. This is Mojave Mob from Cover FX, which I hadn't used in a while. And then I was reorganizing some things last night. I was like, oh, there it is. Cause like I had it broke and I had to it's in different packaging. But there's, I feel like the blush formulas for Salt are slightly different. Like one of my colors behaves different than the two more vibrant colors, because you sent me a bunch of the colors that didn't work for you. One of the blushes feels much more oily, and maybe it just like melted in transit in some point in time.
That could be because it's hot as shit here all the time. Like,
yeah. And I've seen that criticism or that concern like in their social media where they're like, sometimes that happens. You have to kind of dig into the product. But they're nice. I need to play with them more, but like I've enjoyed what I've played with so far.
I know. I've really been enjoying them, and it's weird because like I don't know what's going on, y'all. I think PR season must be afoot because I don't know what I've been doing with my email. I guess not checking it, but I have like 4 different things of opportunities that I was like
also growing in popularity. You're growing. You're getting your dues. You're getting your dues.
It's so awkward though, because like I hadn't been paying attention, and then I finally come to look, and I'm like, whoa, what is happening here? And I'm just like responding to shit, and like I'm normally not good at it. Also, I tried getting shorter coffin nails, y'all. They don't work for me because like I need nails with a curve, but all the rest of them popped off. Like so, then I put on.
Oh yeah, that's the exact shape I was thinking about. It's like the ballerina almost, where it's like tapered but then cut straight across.
Yes.
So
it's like I forgot. Like I thank you. Oh, by the way, for the gift card for Etsy, because I'm probably gonna get some more nails since that whole other set that would have lasted 2 weeks. Just like,
well, so I love gift cards, and you gave me an Etsy gift card for my birthday, and I was like, this is perfect. Nails, great. And so I was like, I'm just gonna do the same thing. It makes it easy, and there's so many other things like. Etsy is overwhelming to me in a lot of ways, but because of you, I've dived back into using it. And like, I even picked up my new nose stud, and I ordered a couple of more now that I have it. Cause it's not a super high quality piece of jewelry, but it's slightly higher quality than some of the other ones I bought. And it actually like, it's not an L or a screw. It's like a labret, I think they call it. So it stays in. It's not going to like shift around. Cause I always had that issue where like you would see the little things sticking out, or like I would pop it off because I'm like rubbing my face or washing it. So anyway, I've fallen back into the Etsy world a little bit, and it's nice. And I have to say, like, if you haven't been on there in a while, I do really like it.
I love it. Like, thank you, Natalie Mother Midnight, getting all flowers. Yes. Sorry, we did it at the same time.
I know. That's why I was like, you're getting all your due. Like, only a couple of years too late.
Casey.
My nails get
but you know what? That
all
happens
the time
to some people.
Yeah.
Like, because here's the thing about like wearing fake nails, especially like when you are wearing press-on nails. I've run into a few people who actually have a bit of an allergy to the glue.
That's
and it ends up like doing something that just irritates like their nail, like whatever your nails are made out of plus the glue, it just becomes like a whole nightmare. And then you can't like pick them off. You have to be like you have to do all this stuff to get the nails off when it's time for you to take them off. It's not a problem. Just put on some nail polish, just like, you know, the rest of us, one nail at a time. I do my toes. I would show you my feet, but it's going to make things weird.
Yeah. But also, here's the thing: is my nails have always been thin and weak my entire life. They've never been able to grow long. They always flake and break at a certain point. So whether or not I'm wearing fake nails or getting a dip or getting acrylic or whatever, or when I let them be completely like untouched and try to polish them, they're shit. Nail polish, and I've tried different brands. I've gotten them done at salons. It just chips almost instantly. Like no matter what mix of like polish and top coat or whatever, unless it's a gel or an acrylic, the polish just automatically chips. So I'm just like, yeah. So I just glue them on.
You know what, Shark? That you have. Don't worry about painting them. Yeah. They're beautiful, long, and natural. And listen. Your hands aren't twitchy. They're just handling the business that they need to handle. That's how your brain works. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Like that's. Listen.
I was gonna say, if you can handle painting them, and you like glitter polish.
Yeah,
because you can touch up places that are chipped. It doesn't look as obvious. Like I will do like an iridescent, like my favorite kinds of eyeshadows, and just do where they look kind of natural, but then like the glitter polishes wear a lot. I feel like they hold on for dear life, and they can kind of
they really do
being chipped or whatever. But also, if you just don't want to paint them because of things related to OCD or otherwise, whatever, and just like, you know, enjoy.
Yeah,
but yeah, maybe try out a formula or two and see.
Glitter polish will go nowhere. Like it might chip, and the thing about glitter polish that's fantastic is like if it chips, nobody can fucking tell because it's just glitter everywhere.
Yes, because so I have a color from Cirque. I bought a couple of polishes like late last year, mid the year, whatever, and I've like it's an indie brand. You don't have to do indie, but like it's like a peachy tone polish, but it has like bigger flaky glitter and smaller glitter, but it's sheer enough that like on top of bare nails, it's really like pretty but not obvious. So it's not like a green glitter or a blue glitter. It just kind of like fades into your nails, but then it's also glitter at the same time. So
because I do my toes. I paint my toes with polish, which I have like fallen in love with my feet because like I love a weird statement to make, but like once I started like, because I used to always try to like use like bright colors and stuff like that, and I just don't love that. And then I just started using like, you know, I forgot how much I like dark shades on my toesies, and so I was like, now I have this one that's like dark and purpley, and I'm like, oh. And I'm just like, I love it so much. No, I'm not going to show you my feet. We're not going to get weird.
No, don't do it.
I know. I'm like, then there'll be like, listen, the second I show you all my feet, the feet people will show up in the comments being like, you have such lovely toes. Show us more toes. Talk less, feet more. I know, because I've had these comments before on like walking in heels and stuff. And the way that people like sent like because I have my socials and stuff and were sending me DMs being like, can you walk? Like, I swear one of the comments had something to the effect of, can you walk in the shoes for hours and like show us up the journey of you walking in the shoes? And I was like, this feels a bit pony. Like,
so here's where I'm gonna say the obvious thing: you should get a schmolny schmans and make some money. Thank you to Cadiosaurus for the basic renaming of the name that might get you demonetized. So
I love the way people like, let's talk more toes. Oh my God, the feet people. And here's the thing, I am never going to kink shame. Like, do you? But like also please be mindful that everybody doesn't have your kink, and it's a little awkward when you show up in a public forum trying to ask someone to like take you on a journey of them wearing shoes.
But here's the thing, that's not kink shaming, because they're in a public forum. They're not in a space where they can be like, hey, I'm on a kink related site or I'm on an adult site requesting things. No, you came into Facebook asking me for feet videos. You are in the wrong, not me. You are the fucked up person.
I know, you're like, yo, I don't love that you did this. Hold on 1 second. I'm putting a timer, which means I am putting a movie on in the background, which I really wanted it to be Hellfest. Oh, there it is. Because I love watching Hellfest in the background.
Also, Millie is here saying happy birthday. Welcome,
hi, Millie. Thank you. Y'all, here's what I'm going to say. This Panini has done amazing things in friendship that I never thought would happen. And Millie is one of those things, like, or person, whatever. We're
things, people, whatever.
But I would never have guessed that Millie would be a person that I'm talking to like regularly about like all kinds of things and makeup and beauty. And I get to like, Millie is so kind and shows me so many like fun videos of her bunny. And it's
a bun.
Listen, she like, because at first she was like, oh, I didn't want to send you like video of him eating. Like, I was like, no, I like crunch noises and that's fine. Although I've tried crunch ASMR and they're still not hitting what I need them to hit. My own, I think it's because I have to hear like like I need them to put the mic like right here so I can hear it inside. Does that make sense? Anyway.
No, it does.
So like, cause I tried some crunch ASMR because I love crunching and like, I have like my temples will actually get like pretty intense cause I like to chew like, and I'm like, but Millie's bunny is friggin' adorable. And he just runs and he's so big. And like, I was like, I think because I thought that bunnies were like small.
But they get big. They're big and it's the ear feeling. It's that temple ear feeling with crunching, especially when you're the one crunching. But if you're listening, you kind of want that like internal sound.
Yes, it's like, I don't think that they have a mic yet.
Bunny crunchy birthday ASMR, yay!
Because like it's really only animals that can really do it. And I don't feel like they have a mic yet for people to get the sound that I want. Cause like I almost need to hear it like I hear it when I am crunching. And so far it's just like I hear them crunching, but I don't feel like it's in my head crunch.
Okay, this is a weird thought. I wonder if and I know I've watched like too much. My childhood was full of movies like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like where you're going into somebody's body.
Yeah.
But like there was like a microphone that like you could almost not swallow, but like put at the top of your mouth.
Yes.
And then eat and like I don't know if that exists.
Yeah, I need to figure it out.
Oh, Doris says that they emulate it.
I love that Casey remembered that because Casey said I have misophonia and cannot listen to ASMR. Or as Audra would say, mesothelioma. Listen, I had such a hard time.
I remember the first time you said that in a video, and I was just like,
I was like,
this is why I adore this person.
What is it? And I was like, just tell me, thank you, Rupee. I was like, I sat there and just tried to be like, no, but like, what is it again?
That sounds like misophonia. Yeah, like not being able to hear people eating, crunching, swallowing. I have a little bit of that. Not always. It's not the crunching.
I'm going to say it.
It's
and
the
I like
noises. I can't. Oh, I don't think
gulp swallow because I gulp swallow, and I think that's why I like the noises because I hear myself going when I drink, and so like that I find that like happy. I don't want to hear people chew like regular food.
Yeah, no,
I want to hear you crunch things like an almond.
Yeah,
like
chips. I feel like are optimal kettle chips.
I'm like, I'm over here like Thor. Everybody's like mesothelioma. Listen, I knew it started with an M.
And it ends with an A. Misophonia, mesothelioma. I don't know.
I know,
kind of related.
And I was like having all this trouble. I don't like smacking noises.
Yeah.
Like there is somebody who's straight up crunchy ASMR. Like that is their name, crunchy ASMR. And they lay all the crunchy shit out, which I can do without that. Like I don't give a shit. Like I think that's the thing about me and I'm like, just get to the crunching. Like
there's a thing called skip ahead.
I know, but I get annoyed because I'm watching like, how the fuck long are you gonna be setting this shit out?
Like the like tapping and like tapping. And I think it taps into the crunchy noises, the clicking and tapping, because then there's no talking. Because there's a lot of people that do talky, chewy ASMR that I'm just like, like I can't. Bleh. So I'd rather like I will search tapping, no talking ASMR and find things, or like soap cutting, like that noise. The like there's like a crunchiness about like soap cutting that's not actually chewing. So
it just you have Thorne. I had subscribed from at least 5 people for eating during their videos. Oh, Natalie. Yes. When Bo gets on that like lickety lick bullshit, I'm like, bro.
No, I can't do it. But this is interesting. ASMR cooking channel, chopping chocolate and produce.
Huh.
That might work.
Sorry, celebration, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yes, it's the strained whispering. I just I don't like it. So that's why usually I'm always searching whatever no talking, because
like when I do it, I'm just trying to talk in my soft, gentle voice that I use with myself to calm myself the fuck down. It's like, Audra, you're getting out of hand. You are freaking the fuck out. You're about to start screaming. Your neighbors are going to call the police. You don't want the neighbors to call the police. You are a Black person. It's very important that you bring your levels down. Okay, self, I'm bringing my levels down. Also, I still want to punch that motherfucker in the face. All right. So I would do like threat ASMR. Like,
you need a motherfucking schmonleash man. That is there is Black male based, you know, this Dom work. That's what those threats make me think of. But yes, there's a difference between like I'm talking in a low voice, I'm just calming myself down, that motherfucker pissed me off. That's different from
I hate that. And like the fact that we're saying that it causes a really unpleasantly visceral sense of someone's breath whispering against my ear, and I hate it. Agree. Because like when people are doing ASMR, like, so what I'm gonna do is I'm like, shh, stop it. Stop whispering at me. That's weird. It's creepy. I don't want you to whisper. I'm like, don't whisper.
It's just unpleasant. And like even the like the low whispering being like something's supposed to be sexy, I'm like, no.
Yeah, because I don't even know how to like do sexy things. I'm just like, do you like it when I punch you in your fucking face because you're a moron? You're welcome.
Warm breath. Why I'm drinking right now. Is it because intimacy is scary and I am baby? Maybe. Thorne, you didn't have to call me out like that, you know.
Right? I'm like, ooh, wait, do you... Okay, so when you say that you like me a lot and you want to spend more time with me, does that mean you want to spend more actual time with me? If so, I'm not okay with that.
Well, it's like, do you want to spend more time with me? Do you want to be in my person? Because that's different.
Yeah.
Or are you just completely lying to me and none of it is true?
Yeah, I need 2 more. I think I need like 2 more. Like, well, actually, because this ring is too small and I don't know what size it is. So I need to get like a couple more of my snake rings, because I need 1, 2 for this hand. So like this finger. I want to do this finger and my thumb.
Nice.
I just want to have snake rings on my, or you know what, this finger and my pinky, or maybe my first finger. I don't know. I just want to
like a little snaky on your pinky. I feel like that would be cute, like a little one.
Is it weird that I'm like fucking enamored of snake rings? I'm like, I just want to wear snake rings. Like I don't want to. I
love it because it makes it like a bigger ring without it being like I don't know. I just think they look cool. They look amazing too on you.
Yeah, like I don't like, and it's easy for me to put them on, and I like snake rings. I like snakes, and I like spiders, but I don't like spider rings because of the legs.
That makes sense.
The legs start like branching out, and it just kind of.
Thank you, Kelsey. I told you I kept seeing really cool snake earrings ever since you started talking about your snake rings.
I know, I'm like snakes.
And I'm just like, I feel like Audra needs a pair of snake earrings in their life. Oh, I would love some cat rings. I want more rings. Like I have some, but like I also have a bad habit. I mean, I haven't lost any of these, but I tend to lose jewelry. But I feel like I want more. But I love my like iridescent stones and I don't know, random shit. But I feel like I've looked at Etsy for other rings and I feel like it's tricky because you will see people where I'm like, you are obviously just reselling AliExpress jewelry or like other jewelry that's like not actually as good quality as you're claiming it is. And then there are people that are making nice stuff, but then it's kind of hard to find the balance. And Tyrion is officially arrived practically in my lap.
I know he's so funny lately. He's like, "Oh, you're live streaming."
That's what it is. Also, I wish I could buy more random earrings, but my ears are so sensitive that even if I have like I wore my fun little mermaidy earrings recently, and I had them in for maybe a couple of hours, and this was a couple of days ago, and my ears still, they're not painful, but you can feel that little, I don't know if anybody else gets those little lumps in between their like piercings or like in the piercing like that. So I've been wary to buy like costume earrings because I don't feel like I can really wear them. I
just forget. That's my problem is like I'll have so much jewelry and then I just forget to wear it. But then like my snake rings, I'm like
I just love the look. We talked about this. Rings and nails. Like having my rings on and having nails. And I've said this before, press on nails or even getting my nails. And if I had the money, I would totally get my nails actually done in a salon. But it's an instant boost when I struggle a lot with my own like feelings of self. And like if I'm feeling down, I'm like, I feel like trash, haven't taken a shower. And then I look down and I'm like, oh, my nails are so pretty. Instantly, I'm just like, okay, it's not so bad. I'm not so trash.
Thornton, you don't have your ears pierced? I didn't know that.
Oh.
It's kind of overrated, to be honest. Like I have several piercings in like my ears, and the only ones I wear regularly are in my cartilage, and that's because like I just don't ever take those out. Like
I have
like with cartilage, you could just leave them there for like 87,000 years and it's fine.
That's actually what I would like to do when it's not the panini and I also have more money. It's like both tattoos and also like more ear piercings, like those like the curated ear. I've actually also thought about, and I feel like Mel Thompson was not the first person, but was a person that reminded me that this was an option, is like slightly stretching my first holes just big enough where I could have my first earring.
I'm sorry, I'm a child. Don't look at me.
I made the mistake of saying first holes. That was my fault. My first piercing, slightly stretching them to where I could have like a tunnel, like a little gold tunnel, where then I could literally just put the cheaper earrings like through that. To wear them. So like just hook it through the little tunnel part so that then I have like a nice high quality tunnel jewelry in, but they're not super stretched. They're not like a big gauge because that's not my personal desire, but just something a little bit so then I could put in more costume jewelry, or I could just have the like tunnel or slightly big plugs in the rest of the time. So but I also like, I'm like, yes, I did just say that. But yes, again, this is one, finding piercers on TikTok who I really like and respect and are doing really cool shit, and being like, oh yeah, there's all these options out there. Like,
because I wanted to get like the other side done, but like the only person I trust to do it like hates me now. So like
Okay, there are good piercers out there, but I also know that like a lot of them are not doing under the mask work. Well, not a lot of them, but one of the ones that I found that is actually in Brooklyn, like they're not doing anything under the mask. So yeah,
I'm in Texas, so I don't think anyone gives a shit. It's like unfortunate, but I like not like I'm going to go do it, but I'm just saying it's Texas, so. First
of all, that doesn't actually happen, but also it's the only one okay, never mind, I'm not gonna say that.
But yeah, like because I've seen people that have both done, and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty.
I don't think I look good
with the septum ring. Like I tried it, and I just don't think that I look cute.
Yeah, I've thought about just getting getting it pierced to get like a little thin one, and I actually have some fake ones right here because like I feel like it's kind of cute, but like I would want really just like to really hug the nose and just be like a little something right there.
Because the thing is, okay, so here's the thing about a septum piercing, right? When you originally get it done, you have to deal with like the jewelry that they give you.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait for it to heal. Oh, I hate that.
Actually, no. If you some of the really good piercers, they can put in jewelry that is like they can pierce with jewelry that's beyond what the basic.
Yes. But I am saying like whatever, like, but it's like based on the gauge and based on like the materials and all of the shit, right? So like, so a lot of times you don't necessarily get the small like sassy cute ones until it's healed, and that's just because it has to heal with like a little bit of the larger and all of that, so that like all of that I just got like a little freaked out by pushing on my inner nose on my septum. Like I got like freaked out.
I don't know. I think
when he did, because I dated him for like.
This is why you don't go back to that person. And
I can't.
I'm telling you, I think that there are options. First of all, to not necessarily have the huge hanging jewelry.
You don't have to have a huge,
No, but yeah, like yes, BVLA is one of the brands that I discovered that just make absolutely stunning, like fucking investment, but stunning pieces. So, oh, I forgot about sweaty upper lip. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Yeah. Also, this is a cute spot, like the I think it's called a Medusa, but I would be too worried about. There is one that goes vertical, kind of through the lip, but I would be too worried about like the gum and
it fucks up your teeth.
Yeah,
there's not a way for it not to. Like even though it's cute, I had a Monroe at one point, and the amount of times that it like smacked against my gums and smacked against my teeth, like it was super cute. I looked amazing.
Yeah,
but also, it just wasn't. It wasn't for me. I want so many tattoos. I'm like,
yes, same.
I need I need to finish out this arm, and then I need to start on this arm some more, because like I have this, which is these are lyrics from an Upon the Burning Body song, which it says, "I'm not sorry for the way that I am," and like it starts out with him screaming it like, "I'm not sorry for the way that I am," and it's like a whole thing, and like they're very like yay Texas. So
I feel like you might still have damage issues, but I don't know. Also, I've had a friend that's had
dentures, do you?
But I don't know if you still have gum issues, like gum. But I had a friend that had a Monroe that was a dermal, and it looked fucking bomb on her. And because it was a dermal, it didn't go through.
Yeah,
but she didn't have teeth issues. Like it just sat on top of her face. Yeah, but tattoos. Like, I still don't know if I'd ever actually want to get my upper arms tattooed, but that's a body thing. But like, there's so many things I would like to get done.
Sorry, Chelsea. Like, because like listen, Upon a Burning Body is my shit. They're one of my favorite like metal bands in Texas, and so like they just like go check out Fountain of Wishes. That's the song. Like that's one of my favorite jams from. Let me go look. Like that is one of my favorite jams from them is Fountain of Wishes. And he just starts screaming about like one more coin in the Fountain of Wishes. And it's just like such a good song. And it makes me like have like a good feeling, and I'm like, you know.
I think you'd be great with the double nostril piercing. Also, I love eyebrow piercings. I don't think I'd ever get them done because my skin has always been a little flabby here.
Oh shit! Sorry, hold on.
What?
Continue.
What was that? I'm confused by that reaction. You were like,
oh, you didn't hear all like the random music that just started?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good.
I have a Coke and whiskey situation. Yes.
Yeah, I am drinking a beer as per usual. I was trying to get this so that y'all, when you have an opportunity, you can check it out. Well, it's like how I used to not raise my arms because, like, if you are deeper skinned, you like, and you have black hair. If you have black hair, period, on your body, like your armpits are darker, and you feel really awkward about it for like so long because, first of all, Hollywood don't show us that. Everybody's like, armpits are bleached or whatever, but so I used to like feel awkward about raising my arms, and now I'm like, whatever, it is what it is.
I used to, so like I haven't shaved my underarms well, I haven't consistently shaved them in years, but I was still like self-conscious of raising my arms, even though I was like, fuck you all, I'm not shaving. And now I'm like, and I've also always been self-conscious of this.
Yeah.
And like one of the first times when I filmed a YouTube video and I was actually wearing a sleeveless top, and I did this a lot, and I still struggle with it, but I was just like, am I gonna post this? And like I said, it's still something I struggle with, but like I am thankful that I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. Like,
yeah.
But it's hard because
it is. There's something, honestly, everybody, this part of our arms, like does something. It like fucks up your brain because it's supposed to waggle anyway.
Yes. But
so we have this like
I've
weird
also
feeling
had
to be all taut, and it's not.
Yeah. And I've had this like skin division versus like, if you see, I've had that since I was a child.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was a thing that people like to make me self-conscious of, and by people I mean my family, my mother. Woo, fun. So I was literally in my mid to late 20s before I was consistently wearing sleeveless tops and not always putting a cardigan on top. Literally mid to late 20s.
Yeah, because my legs are hairy now. Yeah, I honestly I just gave quarantine, maybe be like, yay, well, this.
I like the fish belly. Like that.
I love that.
But yeah,
I refer to them as high Helens. It's from I think it's a Dean Koontz book. It's either Dean Koontz or Stephen King. And in the book, there's like this woman who comes out across the street and she waves and she always said, "Hi, Helen," and like this would wave, like, so they called them the high Helens. And so like that's why I have that. So I feel like it's just nice. I feel like this has been like such a good year for like my body in ways that I wasn't expecting, where I was just like, yeah, I'm done shaving my legs. This is like a really tedious task. Like I just started looking at it, I was like, this is a tedious task, whether I actually like shave or whether I use like a Nair like product, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, this is a very tedious task. Like I have this, like, I got this like shave, like it's for men's beards. But the thing is, it fucking reeks. Yeah. It smells horrendous.
It's like powder Nair.
The house has to smell like just hot garbage for me to like be like, okay, well, this is less tedious than shaving my legs, but it stinks to high heaven. So I just finally said, like, you know what?
Well, it's still tedious in its own way. Like it's less tedious, but it's still tedious.
Yes.
And yeah, I think like tattoos, that's definitely like, I think part of my journey as I have the money to get them done. And for me, I've heard so many fat people say that getting upper arm tattoos has helped them like embrace those parts of their body that they've struggled with. And I'm like, I hear you, but also no.
You're like, the pain?
No, it's not the pain. It's like, but I also would hate to do it and then still be like, yeah, but I still don't like that part of my body. And I could have put that art somewhere else that like I would make me happier. Like that's the part where I struggle with. The pain of tattoos, if I had the money, different story.
I'm going to tell you this, like, I have significantly less stress. Like this arm, I don't mind as much. because there's so much ink on it. But this arm, I don't really like to put out as much because there's nothing on it. And then like my leg, my right leg, I'm like, my upper right leg, I'm like, yeah, look at it, because it's got a big tattoo on it. But my other leg, I'm like, don't look at it. Like, I think that it actually does help.
I mean, yeah,
Thank you, Jen.
I would definitely just have to figure out like what I would want specifically in like this kind of parts of my body. Because like I have thoughts for my thighs and for other areas, but I haven't specifically thought about like what I would want. But I do like, I love tattoos that like are shoulder to arm, like that almost look like those like shoulder cap in a way, where like they kind of drape over.
I think.
Yeah, I could assume any place that's like not too fatty, like straight on. Like I've wanted to. What?
A death head moth.
Okay, for what? I'm lost.
Because, well, I'll have to tell you later because I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way.
I'm very curious now. I was just like, wait, what? What? I'm confused.
Let me get a beer and I'll be right back and I'll explain it to you. Okay.
That sounds good.
All right, bye.
Yeah, like bleaching your armpits. I know. I mean, I'm like Sagittarius in all of my charts, but I realized that like my thing with tattoos is like I just want pretty things on my body. And I don't necessarily like, I have a couple of ideas that have more like meaning to them. But like other things I might get, probably it's just like, I think it's pretty and I want it on my body. And if it changes and later I'm like, oh, that's not really a preferred art, I can still appreciate it. So hi, Mary. We're talking about like bodies and learning to appreciate your body more and tattoos and all kinds of stuff. So welcome. This is a perfect way to put it. All my insecurities are fabricated. Like I'm willing to say 99% of the time insecurities that we hold are things that other people made up and put on us. Yeah, like I want some colorful tattoos. And I know Audra's like all black ink, which I get, but I think I would want some stuff with color. I mean, that's valid. You know, I think it I don't know. I think that's a thing with like just getting like obviously getting things that have meaning to you are also great tattoo ideas. But sometimes I'm like, yeah, I just want things that are pretty. Like, because I think I look at like art that I liked when I was like younger and I look at it now and I might not still love it the way I did, but I still appreciate it and I can still find some beauty in it. So, hey, Bethany. Yes, all of the color. Yeah, and so Pam says colorful ink show up differently on dark versus light skin. That's what I mean about like I get why. Hey, Elise, welcome. I can't hear you.
Pam was saying colorless inks show up differently on dark versus light skin. There are actually, thank you, Elise. There are actually tattoo artists. If you have deeper skin, ask them to do a test. Ask them to do an ink test, and they can like do just like in some spot that is innocuous or whatever. They will do the varying colors that you might want in your tattoo, right? Yeah. And then they let it set and heal, and then as soon as it heals, excuse me, you can see how it's going to look after it heals.
That's so super. You know what? I know this sounds kind of silly, but like maybe it doesn't sound silly. I would totally get like a rainbow or like a random, like just like somewhere little. And that's my ink test. Like theoretically, where you're like, okay. Or like if you know that you like pinks, purples, and blues, you could get like something that represents that. So that's really cool. I love hearing that because I had not actually heard that, but I knew that color showed up different you know, on different skin tones depending on how deep or pale you are.
Because like all of mine have like a little bit of red in them. It's like a thing. a weird thing I enjoy. But I put a message to you so that way you knew what I was talking about.
Okay.
Because you were infinitely curious. I didn't want you to have to wait until eternity.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm willing to share that. You were just saying that it would look amazing with movement, which this part does. Okay. Okay.
Because I love Death Head Moths. I think that they're just stunning, but like also probably for my own creepy things too. It's more like, you know, like Hannibal Lecter type shit. Like,
that's what I was pretty sure you were talking about, and I was like, I would have to pick, like, I would have to decide on that. But I do like the idea of like something that looks good with movement. Like that actually plants a good seed in my head of like of playing around with that idea. But yeah, like my dream is literally to be like good friends with somebody who is a tattoo artist that I could just be like, obviously I'm going to pay them, but be able to like have a closer connection and just be like, this is what I'm feeling like. What do you think? Like I like the idea of like trusting an artist to like do their thing, but obviously being something that I'm into. So
because like I have like a whole piece from like here to here that I actually just need to get the whole fucking thing fixed. Yeah. And I need to find somebody whom I trust to fix it, because like, I don't know, like it is weird because it's like the dude who did like this and like killed this. It's amazing. Yeah. I don't know what garbage dump happened on my side. Like I really don't. I'm still sometimes mad I paid for that. I'm like,
and again, I think this ties in with like body dysmorphia and body positivity or body neutrality. It's like really nice things on your body, like tattoos, if you're into them, can really help. But then also I could see how if you had something that you weren't happy about, that it could also like make it worse in some ways.
Yeah, because I just want like, I have a tattoo that I want to get like here. But apparently people didn't really understand how many, because like I did that tattoo tour video a long time ago, and I guess people didn't know that I had so many until I did my like boom reel on Instagram. People were like, oh, and I was like, I'm having a good body day, and whenever I have a good body day, I'm gonna show it off.
I like this question. Defective Shark said, is body neutrality pretty much what it says on the tin? So yeah, so I believe in fat liberation. Fat liberation is different from body neutrality, which is different from body positivity.
Yes.
Body neutrality to me, so if you are in a space where you struggle with body issues, whatever they are, body neutrality for me feels like the best first step, because it's saying, I have a body. That's it. It's not good. It's not bad. It's not evil. It's not, angelic or like whatever. It's just, I have a body and it is what it is. And then it also separates yourself from focusing so much on your body. Whereas I think sometimes with body positivity, it can be really, really hard to get to a point of actually loving or liking your body. But it's also still using a focus of your attention on your body. And I think especially for a lot of women in femmes, we are culturally, societally trained to spend a lot of our energy on our body. And that energy could be used for a million other amazing things. And I'm not saying like capitalistic ways. I'm just saying like you could like do art if you want to do that, or fuck around on the internet, or read a book, or spend time with friends, or whatever it is. But instead you spend all this energy really focusing on your body. And sometimes that process of trying to love your body just switches the energy from hating to loving. And you're still occupying a lot of your time focused on your body. Whereas neutrality, it's like, it is what it is, kind of in the best way. So yeah. Oh, thank you.
Well, yeah, and also here's the thing, but I don't care if I say it because I'm a skinny bitch, so I'll say it. The body positivity movement has been co-opted by skinny bitches. So it's like, I like skinny bitches who go to the gym And
the body
I'm not for
positivity movement was not started by skinny white people, but it has been co-opted in particular by skinny and white people. And
who drink skinny teas and be like body positivity and diarrhea.
And who call themselves
mid-size
when the reality is that they are a small fat. Like mid-size is like you might not even be considered fat. You might be in like regular sizes, but they like they create these new words to, and like I'm not saying that if you're smaller you can't have body dysmorphia or deal with issues with your body, because that's obviously not what I'm saying. That's not true.
Correct.
But that doesn't, and so fat liberation, I feel like, is that next step of saying there is societal oppression put upon fat people, and the bigger you are, the more oppression you face.
Yes.
And it's about breaking that oppression and the fat, like the thoughts of like your health determines the respect. Like being a healthy fat person is like the ticket out to not getting demonized. The reality is you owe health to no one. You owe your health to no one, whether you are 600 pounds or 95 pounds. Like the reality is that you owe your health to no one. But also fat liberation is showing that like, no, there is privilege in the size of your body. And the smaller you are, the more privilege you have, even if you hate your body. And so that's why I'm like, that's the next step of like, and I think with clothes, I think one of the biggest things that can be really hard to understand, it's like you are not wrong for not fitting into a piece of clothing. The clothing is wrong for not fitting you. And it doesn't matter if you bought that piece of clothing and it's changed, your body has changed, or whether you're like, well, I always wear a size whatever, and this is that size and it doesn't fit. That is not your fault. That is the clothing manufacturer's fault.
I'm telling you, like, listen, they change that shit so often and we don't know it. We have no idea, because basically what they did to say that they were like, you know, inclusive and had plus size is they just changed the sizes around. And so like it still doesn't fit. Like that's the thing, is it's still not going to fit. If you're a size 22, right, and you get a size 22 at this other brand, it's still not going to fit you because it's not a 22.
Yeah,
it never was. Like they just decided it was.
And my
like,
favorite,
the 22, and then like this is the problem with women's clothing, is it's arbitrary.
Yes, there is no standards across the industry for women's clothing. There is no sizing standards.
Correct.
None. So brands can do whatever the fuck they want, and it's not your fault that they are not fitting you or that things have changed, because that's the other thing, is brands will change their fit models season to season. So you're like, well, I bought this same pair of jeans 6 months ago at the same size and it fit, and now they're so tiny. It's like, it's not your body's fault, that's the brand's fault. So
and honestly, like one of the things that helped me was I just, like, for one, I shop a lot at ThredUp. So that's a thing. Yeah. Because like I can kind of fuss around, and there's stuff that I get that's supposed to fit me. It doesn't. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening here. But a part of that too is also because I don't have a torso. So like everybody else who has torso and where their waist starts versus where my waist starts up here. So like,
and I will say, and I've said this to you separately, I'm like, ThredUp and like thrifty kind of shopping, it's not the same for fat people.
That's true.
The prices are not the same. Like when you've told me about like on a sale, I was able to get this many pieces at this price. And I was like, even on a sale, I got like half of what you were able to get.
I know.
And so that's
why I never even understood that, because they're like, oh, it's more fabric. And I'm like,
yeah.
But it's the same shitty fabric? Like
yeah, no, and
like it's the same shit ass fabric. I'm confused why this is suddenly more expensive, and I see it now. Like I even noticed it when I used to do Splendies. I noticed that like they had different pricing for the plus size underwear subscription, and I thought, like, that's really weird. Why wouldn't you just have it be all the same?
Yeah,
and like
you're not charging less for smaller sizes. You're not saying a small is $5, a medium is $6, a large. Like No, you're saying a small to extra large is one price, and then anything beyond
past that, it's more.
Yeah.
And so like that, when I see that kind of stuff, it's like when I kind of become aware in ways that I wasn't aware before of the discrimination against fat people. Cause like people don't really even think about shit like that. Like it doesn't actually make sense that like for all of these sizes up until like, let's say 16, this will be the price of these jeans. From 0 to 16 on these jeans, it's going to be $29.99. But the second you go past that, suddenly it's $39.99. Suddenly it's $49.99. You're like, why? And they're like, well, it's more fabric. And I'm like, I really don't care because they don't do that. And I noticed this even in men's fashion. Like they don't do that in men's fashion. It's just like this pair of jeans is $59.99 and it goes from this size all the way to this size. And like, I would see like, 44-inch waist and I'd be like, okay. And it's the same price as a 32. And I was like, okay, so what you're telling me though, is like, you're really targeting fat women. Yes. Okay.
And Vision of You makes a good point. So everyone's like, well, it's more fabric. And I'm going to say this as a sweeping statement in almost every industry. Labor is what you are paying for. You are not paying for material. If you're buying fucking fancy truffles from Whole Foods, yes, you're paying for materials. But like when you're at a restaurant, you're paying for the labor. When you're shopping, you're paying for the labor of putting those products together. So telling me, oh, it uses 50% more fabric, add 50 cents onto the cost then, not $10.
Yeah. Like it just, because it seems arbitrary and it seems really like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's the same way I started getting mad when I started seeing people who would argue, because there were people that I used to follow on YouTube that I found interesting because at one point they were discussing things in a nuanced way, like weight and topics of that matter. But something changed. I feel like a few of them got together and then like it felt like they got popular and then they got together and I just really didn't like the energy anymore. And it seemed like it was antagonistic and hateful. Like I understood certain aspects of it. And then finally I was just like, I can't be a part of this. Because I feel like there's this whole thing where it was like, I'm just worried about your health. And I'm like, but you're not worried about a skinny person's health. Like nobody has ever looked at me and been like, Audra, I cannot believe you're eating that handful of jelly beans. I'm just worried about your health. Like nobody said that to me in my life. Like I've never had anybody worry about me eating sugar, sweets, jelly beans, eating like a big fat turkey burger. Like none of these things have ever happened.
I feel like the two of us eat ramen, instant noodles on a pretty similar like regular thing.
For breakfast.
Spicy noodles for breakfast is a thing. And I'm like, yes, but if I were to like, because sometimes I'm like, oh, this is a cute little like bowl of ramen. Like maybe I'll, and I'm like, I don't always even like, I wouldn't even share that picture to the internet. Not like, but because you're like, oh my God, like it's hitting all like, and I'm just like, smaller people are not, it's the getting comments about the food that you're eating. Oh yes, that would be great, Sharon. I agree with that. There's a lot of people struggle with different layers of body dysmorphia and eating disorders, and whether it's a current struggle or a previous struggle, numbers in particular can be very triggering, and triggering is the word for it. It can really, really hit a nerve for people. So thank you, Sharon, for mentioning that, because and I just think that like, I think that it's important, like I appreciate that you've started to notice it, not just with being friends with me, but like more of these conversations and like just calling out like struggling with your body is totally like, it's fucked up how many of us do it. I'm not saying that anybody that is smaller than me doesn't deserve to have these feelings about their body, because that is the society that we're in. That is the culture that we are in. And that is the way media treats us. It makes us feel wrong and different and fucked up.
Like there are people I know who do YouTube. Who literally work out specifically because they're aware that if they reach a certain roundness or if their face like this, they're aware that people will comment on this and be like, and even if they are trying to be kind, they'll be like, oh my God, your face looks so round. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, ow. Like, so they're like actively working against the fact that people are going to say something. And I feel like it's not even for, and there's multiple people that I know that do this. And I'm just like, this is sad and upsetting because I feel like they wouldn't be doing this thing if they weren't worried about people saying something. So since they're worried that somebody's going to say something, they're like pushing themselves harder to like look exactly the same. And I'm just like, listen, sometimes I'm bloated. Sometimes my face is bloated. Sometimes my body is bloated. I can't do a lot about it. Sometimes I had too much wine. Sometimes I had too much beer, you know, and I'm like, and everything's puffy.
Yeah.
You know,
I can literally eat a very healthy tray of roasted vegetables, but I salted that thing just a little too much. I'm like, I want extra salt. I want Parmesan cheese. And I wake up the next day and I'm bloated. The same thing could happen if I eat ramen. But you don't actually know what I consumed. And I agree with how Defective Shark put it. It'd be really nice if we could just move away from socializing women and femme people to believe that the most important thing about them is their body. And that taps into the core of this body neutrality thing that I mentioned. Because it's like, you do not deserve to focus all of this energy towards your body. There are so many other amazing parts about you, and your body can still be amazing. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't feel good about yourself. Feel fucking amazing about yourself. You're hot. Whoever's watching this, you're hot. You're fucking like top notch. Like, you deserve the world, but you also don't deserve to put all this energy into something because the world is telling you you should.
Yeah, because like when I was significantly thinner, because like when my hyperthyroidism gets like way the hell out of hand, my body just burns. It burns everything. I don't even know how I survived those times, to be honest, because like nothing's staying. And I was painfully thin at one point. The amount of people who were like congratulating me and also the amount of people who were like making fun of me was pretty much equal. And I was just like, could everybody just not say anything? Like, I'm already aware of how weird my body looks right now. And I like, that's why I'm like sensitive about lollipop head, because I was experiencing it. I was like, this is my big ass head on my little ass body. Like, it was very awkward. So I just feel like people need to realize that, like, as a whole, we have got to stop commenting on people's bodies, especially, you know, I'm going to say specifically in like social media spheres.
Yes.
Because we feel closer to people for whatever reason. We have the parasocial relationships. We really need to stop commenting on whether somebody looks good with or without the wig. We really need to get to a point where you just go, you look good, period. Yeah. That's it. You don't have to be like, oh my God, the extra like roundness on your face looks amazing. Oh my God, I like how sallow your cheeks are. Like none of that shit has to be there.
Or like you look like, oh my God, you look so good. Have you lost weight? I still remember I had this moment, and this was at least, I'm gonna say 3 years ago. It was when I was still working at the bakery. A customer. So part of my work was customer service. I ended up in the front of the bakery randomly, pretty regularly. Somebody walked in and they were just like, oh, you look so good. Have you lost weight? And in that moment, I actually had the energy and the forethought to just say, oh, you know, I don't know. And then they were like, oh, well, like, you look amazing. Like, you must have like they tried to keep going. And I was like, yeah, I really don't know. Like, I didn't say, like, I don't weight myself. I didn't say, like, I was just like, I tried to act as dumb as I humanly could without being rude and just continuing the conversation otherwise. And, like, that was a moment where I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, it was a good reminder of, like, take a moment and think about it rather than just being like, oh, yeah, I guess, because that's how I've been trained. It's like, oh, that's a compliment. I should feel so good. I was just like, dumb face, like.
Yeah, because when I worked in logistics, somebody said that to me. They're like, oh, because like, you know, I was working in an air conditioned warehouse in 118 degrees, and they're like, "Oh, you look like you're losing weight." I'm like, "I sure as fuck hope not, because I can't." I'm like, any more weight that I lose, I'm gonna fucking disappear. And I looked them in the face, and then they began to like, they realized I probably shouldn't say them. Like, yeah, don't say that to me. Don't like, it's already a concern. I already know that I'm like,
yeah. And like this from Thorn is exactly another example. Shout out to the people who told me I looked great when I was on chemo because it made me look skinny. And I'm sorry also if like the weight conversation is at all difficult for anybody.
I don't want to upset anybody. Like, I don't want to like freak out. It's my birthday. Like,
I know. But I will
say weight, body positivity. Like,
people that comment on I just want them to be healthy. They are health trolls. They are health trolling you. Don't feed into it. Call them a troll and move on. Like, that's the word that I came up for them. And I was just like, you don't. And also, a lot of us watching, not all of us. Thankfully, we have a very big audience. I'm very thankful for that. A lot of us live in America. Don't fucking talk to me about health.
Thank you.
Period.
A country that doesn't care about me.
I'm like, yes, concern trolling, health trolling. Like, don't come in my mentions, don't come in my text, don't come in my personal space talking about my health, because unless you are giving me physical monies and a lot of it, there's nothing I can do for you.
Yes, like concern trolling needs to stop. Like, yay. Yes, because I feel like it's such a weird thing to do. And I feel like, because like, here's something that I've been talking about with some of my friends, is like, to change the subject. I think it's very, very weird, the amount of people who just keep expecting their favorite creators to comment on whatever the fuck's happening in the scene. So weird. I love like y'all. I need you to understand that you don't need to wait for me to tell you how to feel. If you feel that way, you feel that way. But please don't wait. Thank you, Pollyanna.
Oh, Pollyanna, you're the best. You're the best.
But like, real talk of like, you don't need to wait for other people, and like expecting a response to these things. I was going to do a video on this, but I'm going to start talking about it now. This culture of immediacy is dangerous. It is so very dangerous. And I say that because like, we all saw what happened with like Hannah from Smoky Glow. We've seen this happen multiple times, where people are so afraid of getting canceled that they have to immediately respond, and everybody's asking them to. Yeah. And I feel like this is a very dangerous road to go down, because you're literally asking people to like not even consider the feelings of the other person involved and actually get information from them and have a conversation prior to speaking to the masses. Yeah. We're literally at a point where we're expecting people to respond immediately to a situation. And I hate it, because I'm like, if I fucked up, which I'm going to. I'm a human being.
Exactly. Literally, no one is perfect.
Please understand, because we've had one. The amount of stress that we had trying to like issue a statement as quickly as possible so that people were not upset, because we knew about the culture of immediacy, because we were very much aware.
12 hours. Yeah. And not necessarily, we weren't just waiting. Not going to go deeper than that, but we weren't just sitting around waiting. 12 hours passed, and even just seeing the response at that point in time, I was like, oh, no, we got to get the fuck on top of this. Like, yeah. And we are small channels.
We're very small channels. I'm not even a 10K. I'm not even a 15K. I'm not even a 20K.
No.
But there is a weird culture where people are quite literally expecting that as soon as something comes out, like me and Emily are friends, right? This is all pretends. This did not happen. This is fake. Okay. Moving forward. This is a fake.
Whatever.
This is an HR situation. So in this situation, Emily and I are friends, and Emily does something way fucked off, or says something way fucked off. They didn't mean to. They were having an off day. They said something super shitty.
shouldn't have gotten online from the get-go, but didn't listen to myself. That kind of shit.
Within 30 minutes, probably 10 minutes of this going live and people arguing back and forth with Emily, who's just like not having it today.
Yeah.
Now there are calls out being like, Audra, is this how you behave? Is this your friend? Is this your friend? You're disgusting. Is this what you endorse? You're disgusting. We're disgusted by you. Like, what? Like, that is the definition of absolute batshit nuttiness. Because you are literally expecting someone who probably hasn't even been paying attention to the situation. And then I look and I'm like, what the fuck? And then now I'm messaging Emily being like, yo, what the fuck's going on? I see all this shit going back and forth. And Emily's like, I'm just not in the mood for this shit. Nobody's gonna fuck with me today. And I'm like, Emily, you need to calm down. And we're talking back and forth. Meanwhile, there is a whole storm of people going back and forth on Twitter, some arguing for Emily, some arguing against. And then there's people
some just stoking the fire to stoke the fire, just being like, well, what the fuck is this other person doing? They're friends with this person. What is their thoughts? And yes, the concerned viewer. I want to quickly interject and say, for me personally, I don't have to agree with I don't have to agree or defend what somebody did to also think they deserved a tiny bit more time to respond to it.
I can not like you and still be like, yeah, let's give them 24 hours.
Yeah.
To
I could not like you, not like the response you made, not like the response you made after the response, and still think you deserved a space and moment to breathe.
Yeah,
this is me speaking, not representative of Audra.
And I know I feel the same way because I feel like there's multiple times where I did jump on a bandwagon. I did be like, but you start realizing that the quicker that we do this, the more dangerous we make the situation for the people involved. And we have to realize that these are human beings. And even if you're a shitty human being, I don't want you to be in a quote unquote dark place, an actual dark place. I don't want you to be there because you're getting ridiculed from all of these people. And now, if you look at it from this situation that I created here and made up, in this situation, I'm supposed to cut ties with Emily immediately, denounce Emily on social media, tell everybody I don't fucking hang with Emily. And Emily's literally trying to come to me to be like, I need help. I made a mistake.
Exactly.
I was having a bad day. I don't know why I said this thing, but I can't talk to Emily now. I can't talk to Emily. Because everybody knows now that I've already said it out loud. I'm like, oh, I've cut ties because I don't want any trouble and I don't want to get canceled too. So cut ties. So now Emily is alone in this situation and there's no one to back them up. And they have no one who's going to be in their corner. And they're supposed to try to figure out how to fix it. So you can't expect your faves to just denounce people, to just be like, I'm no longer their friend. I'm not going to talk to them. I would much rather be like, Emily, I saw this shit coming out. What the fuck? What happened? Let's talk. And have that 24 hours or 48 hours to go through and work with them and be like, what was happening, and get them in a stage where they feel better. And they're like, this is what I really meant to say, but I was pissed off. So I just threw this out there and I tweeted it and I shouldn't have. And I'm like, let's work on this together and be able to work with my friend on fixing things. I shouldn't have to, one, report on my friend because that's gross behavior too.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to, two, immediately have a statement about how I'm denouncing my friend or any statement at all about my friend because my friend isn't me. Yeah. And most importantly, I should be able to be there to help my friend through this situation. Yeah. I should not have to just go away and be like, well, I don't want to get canceled. Fuck that.
But also, I think there's another layer to it where it's if you're in a situation where you are associated with somebody, whether they are a close friend or they're just professional association, meaning you've done live streams or collaborations or whatever, you just happen to have done a live stream with them recently and then they fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you're being held to respond. This person is still figuring out how to respond. And then more things come out. Let's say in this example, there were some shitty fucked up tweets that came out from me from a couple years back.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is that if me, the bad person in this example, was given time to actually respond, one, I would be able to see what's being lodged against me, and you, Audra, would be able to see and be like, okay, wait, we were working through this, but now I'm seeing this shit come out from a couple years ago. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, what did you mean?
Like, what did you mean? But I think what happens is that people are pushed to respond immediately. They respond, and then, like, you as a friend might respond, or in this example, I might respond, and then the internet throws up more bullshit, bullshit. They throw up more history, and then all of a sudden you're like, or I'm like, oh.
And Chelsea, unless I desperately need my bills paid, in which case.
That's not a friend, though. That's an employer.
Thank you. I am
different.
employed.
That is very different. But like, I think, and I'm not saying like give somebody 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month for people to forget, but give them time, and then it gives the internet time to feed up any like proof. So if somebody says something that's transphobic, and then in the next 48 hours, the internet is like, oh, here's like 3 other videos where they were transphobic. Well, that means their friends have a moment to be like, wait, like, I know you had a bad moment this other night, but I'm seeing things from the last 3 years where you're consistently saying things that are fucked up. Like, you need to learn and figure out how to apologize for this and actually move past your transphobic views. This is all alleged, I'm saying. Before I say anything, and you need to do like show that you are paying attention to what's being said. But I think there's this like ping pong back and forth of like, you have to respond, and then more information is thrown out, and then this and that, and it gets really messy. And so it's like, people should have a moment to breathe and figure things out.
Because we shouldn't keep pushing people to answer immediately. I feel like what we're doing today is expecting that the second that everything comes out, and I feel like this all really goes back to like the Tati Dramageddon thing with the Bi Sisters, all of that. I feel like it goes back to that because we all remember all of them drama channels literally, it felt like they had 6 and 7 videos a day every time something happened in the situation. And I feel like people just don't get an opportunity to like just sit in it, figure out what went wrong, have conversations, and like fix things. Because 9 times out of 10, first of all, if something that Emily said was fucked up and then somebody digs something up from like 17 years ago, I'm like, I'm not counting the 17 years ago thing. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I know that you want me to, but like in between now and then, that has not been the steady conversation. So I'm not going to like have bearing on this section, because I think it's weird that people will go dig up old shit to like count for now. And I'm like, but please hold, if you don't have a consistent issue with this person doing this thing throughout time, then I don't need you bringing up these old ass tweets, because that's really shitty. It's like really gross, disgusting behavior to like pull up something. But, well, they've always been this way. See? And I'm like, well, you can't say always, because the last time they said something was 17 years ago and then yesterday. So you're like literally.
And see, I'm a little bit more judgmental, where I'm like, yeah, but if you showed something, I will say 4 to 5 years ago, and you're showing it now, I do have the tendency to feel like, yeah, but to me right now, as an outsider, not as a friend, as an outsider, you're showing that in 4 to 5 years, you haven't grown.
Yeah.
And so that's where, but I'm like, when you're like, oh, this is 10 years old, and I'm like, okay, but is there anything else in the last 10 years? But it's like, I think it kind of depends. But again, like, I also think that as a viewer, if somebody does something and you're really put off by it, you don't have to keep watching. Like, if you're like, you know, like for me, if I'm like, okay, well, they had this tweet from 5 years ago, or this video from 4 years ago, or this like whatever from more than a year ago, And then they've done this thing now, and it makes me feel shitty. It makes me feel gross. I don't trust them anymore. I'm just going to stop. If I was following them, I'm just going to stop following them. And if they're like interrelated with people I follow, it does give me pause for the people that I also follow. If they can like, but it's also like, I also don't need to attack the person. I don't need to publicly tweet about it or make a video. And like, I agree with you on the, like, no one owes anyone a video. In particular, don't like, we do commentary in a way, but I feel like we're doing commentary on the world and on societal issues. I'm just going to say this straight up. Don't come at me about David Dobrik.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
From the little teeny tiny bit I knew about this person way before any of this came out, I was like, that person would never be in my friend group. They are trash to me. And what I've heard has connected the dots.
I don't like that kind of content because, like, the thing is, I will comment and do commentary on things that affect me or affect those that are close to me, right?
Yeah.
But mostly I try to do things where, like, I've watched their content or I like them. I don't like having a conversation about, so like, and this is why I can't be like a quote unquote drama channel, because that means I have to pay attention to content I have zero interest in paying attention to. It means I'm going to have to watch like people that I don't want to watch at all just to have something to report on. I can't do that. So like, there's no freaking way that I'm going to go out of my way to go like watch all this shit on David Dobrik to figure, hell, even James Charles. I'm not going to go watch it all to just try to figure out what's going on. I'm not going to do it. I don't watch his content. I never have. I've literally never actually watched a James Charles video. That isn't like me patting myself on the back. It's me just being like, no, everything I've seen of James Charles is literally through a drama channel. I've never actually sat down. Yeah. And like, thank you. Thank you as well.
Yes.
But like, my friends will be my friends. And I'm not going to publicly denounce my friends just because people got pissy, be like out on Twitter. And here's one thing I want to remind people of is like, please don't get on those Twitter pylons. I know it's very tempting, but think about it this way. If you are one person and even 500 people are tweeting at you about what you fucked up, let me know how not defensive you would be. Because the amount of people who go after creators be like, well, they were very defensive. Of course they were defensive. There's tons of you telling them they're wrong. There's no, like, that is the human nature response. Yeah. That, like, all of us do it. There's not one of us who it doesn't become defensive when someone tells us wrong. Hell, I was just telling Emily yesterday, like, I get defensive when Emily tries to introduce me to new technology and I don't know how to work it. So I'm like, I don't want to do it.
And then 3 months later, you're like, I figured out this thing. And I'm like, fuck you. Happy birthday, but fuck you. But I've realized now, like, that's how your brain works. And it's not like you not liking my recommendations. It's literally how your brain works.
Yeah, but my brain's like, you can't like it because you don't know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, then you don't want to like be an idiot in front of everybody. I'm like, okay, don't be an idiot in front of everybody. Hate it. But it's like,
and this is like where we differ, because I do think that there are times where I'm like, you are a business. Get the fuck off the internet. And I will continue to sit here and say that. And like, I will say it, scream it like I just did, where I'm like, no, but you're not you are a person. Let me not say it, because you are a person, but you've also made and this is from a small creator to the really, really big millions and millions of subscribers. You've made your business out of yourself. Yeah. So you are a business. So you know what? It's time to get off the internet. Yeah. Like, that's the thing where, like, when I see these pylons happening, I'm not saying anyone piling on is like doing the right thing, but I think when it comes to creators, they need to, again, this is why having YouTube friends is important, because like, if I saw you getting defensive on Twitter, I would be like, Audra, get the fuck off of Twitter.
And that's what I do with my friends.
Like, so that's the thing where I'm like, when you are straddling this line between, you are a real person, you have feelings, you have real reactions, but you are also your own business. Yeah. And it's just like, when I see indie brands fuck it up and do things where I'm like, I know you're a small brand, but you also need to not talk about how you don't vote on the internet. You cannot vote. Just don't share
But
it with
don't
the
tell everybody
internet.
like we don't
Or
vote. Like,
don't get defensive about criticisms about this or about that. So like that's where I'm a little bit more like, okay, but like you need to be smarter with how you actually behave. But I also think like I also haven't been that person with a
yeah,
big platform that's getting all this criticism. So like I think that there's this, but I think this is a good reminder to viewers where I'm like, look, if you're really unhappy about a situation, the solution is not to just voice it yet again to the same person, in my opinion.
yeah.
The solution is often to like give yourself a break from that, whether it's a brand, a channel, a person. And if you want to see how they react over time, that's fine. If you're just ready to like step back, they don't owe you anything and you don't owe them anything.
Yeah, I mean, because here's what I'll say: the reason I am the way I am about internet pile-ons is because I think of it this way: if I'm sitting here minding my business, doing my thing, thinking like I've done something cute or whatever, and then people are upset, or somebody thinks that I'm culturally appropriating, right? And I'm like, no, like da da da, and then all of a sudden, my mentions and notifications are blowing up, and it's with not only people who are trying, because here's the thing that people forget: when you do that, the people who are trying to give the actual information disappear amongst the thousands of people who just start like commenting on your appearance. Well, Audra looks ugly anyway. I hate the way Audra talks. I hate the way Audra breathes. I hate the way Audra claps her hands. And it just becomes like a thing where it stops. Like you have difficulty even finding how many people were like angry and like what it was and like what happened and like, and eventually like what happens is you get more and more defensive, and the issue at hand stops being the issue, right? It stops being like Audra was culturally appropriating. It starts being like a bunch of people called Audra an ugly, skinny scarecrow and gross, right? And then I like all I have to do now is defend myself against ugly, skinny scarecrow and gross. And then everybody's like, that's me. And then the cultural appropriation just disappears. This is what happens to a lot of people. So like I don't ever actually learn the issue, like learn from the real issue. I get defended against people attacking my appearance, but then like I don't learn from here. And that's why I'm like, we have to do better as people. Like I understand that you want people to learn, but we also have to stop like attacking someone's person. And I feel like if you go look and people have like, because like the shit gets quote tweeted and like people being like, no, like and I'm just like, okay. So you have to think about that too. Like you may tweet something out and be like, I saw Audra doing blah, it was awful, right? And then somebody else who already hates me, but I don't know that they hate me, they quote tweet it and say something. Then some drama channel gets a hold of it, they quote tweet it, and then they say something.
Yeah.
So like the issue too that we forget about is like there's a number of people that fucking hate you, and you don't really know how many of them hate you. Like I'm aware every time I do a live stream and every time I put out a video, there is someone who literally like the second the video goes live, like as soon as they find it, they're like thumbs down and then they leave. Like I'm aware
The
that they do this every
nosiness
time.
of myself of wanting to know like who the fuck are you? Like both if it's on my channel or your channel, I'm like, who? But we've talked about this. I feel like we probably talked about this on streams before, but we definitely talk about it a lot off camera. I don't hate watch.
Yeah.
There are creators that I just like, I know they're popular. I might have even used to like them. I fell out of love and I move on. I will admit my fault. The one thing I will do is I will look at some thumbnails.
Thank you. I will look at your thumbnails and be like,
but I'm not giving you any view counts. I'm not giving you any AdSense. Like hey Tina, welcome. But yeah,
hi, Tina.
it hate watch is so weird to me because I'm like, okay, I don't have that much energy on a day-to-day basis as it is to spend time watching something I don't enjoy.
And as a neurodivergent person, here's what I'm gonna tell you. I don't get it at all. Like
No.
I cannot comprehend spending any time on something you don't enjoy. Like it actually like makes my brain just go like it like self-destructs.
Yeah.
The second that people tell me like that they're right, I'm like, why?
And I'm like, life is full of enough things that I have to do that I don't want to do. Whether it's the work I have, the this I have, the that I have. Why am I gonna fill it? It's tomorrow's Audra's birthday, so we're doing some early birthday celebrations, and we're just currently ranting about bullshit behavior on the internet. Bullshit meaning like from viewers, from people, the whole like pitchfork culture. It's been a good
going
night.
after folk with like, you know, it's my birthday, I'm gonna talk about whatever I want. Like that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. It's like,
yes,
just fucking stop it. It's weird. Hate watching is weird. It's a weird sensation. And if you don't like them, here's the thing: you watch their video, and if you thumbs it down, you still gave them engagement.
It's better than
you're not doing anything to like hurt them.
Yes. Birthday booty shaking.
Like you come in the comments and you're like, you're stupid and I hate you. Like you're still helping me. Like
there have been videos that I've watched that I don't like. Like it's whether it's a creator that I like where I'm just not really vibing with the video, or whether it's like, you know what, I'm gonna give this person another try. And I will be tempted to give it a thumbs down to either communicate like this wasn't my favorite video, or like, oh yeah, I don't like you. And then I'm like, no, but that's just giving more engagement. Whereas like if I watch something and I'm like, okay, I love this creator, I don't really like this style of video or this concept, me giving it more engagement is going to boost how my algorithm looks. So like if I'm like, oh wait, you know what, I don't like we were talking about ASMR earlier. If I'm like, I don't like mouth breathing ASMR, let me give this a thumbs down. You know what that's going to turn into? YouTube being like, we see you gave engagement to mouth breathing ASMR. Here's some more videos like that. And I'm just like,
they really will. They'll be like, here's more mouth breathing ASMR. And you're like, I didn't want it. They're like, no. We thought you just didn't like that creator's mouth breathing
so
ASMR.
we would give you more options.
So we're trying to give you some more. Like we're trying. Also, to end this on like a positive, like, well, we've been positive anyway, but guess what arrive in the mail?
Ooh!
El barrio.
A bunch of people's Terra Moons orders have been arriving this week, and I'm just like, must not look.
Listen, I have a whole other, because I have, okay, wait, I'm gonna grab it. No, I'm gonna do that some other time because I really have to pee, and we may, like, it's been an hour and 32 minutes.
I'll quickly walk through what's on my face because I saw a couple people asking.
I'm gonna go pee and I'll be right back.
Okay.
That's what we'll do.
Okay. I'll do it while you're, so, because I don't know if the person's even still here, but I just wanted to say, my highlight is Space Baby from Terra Moon. It's one of their iridescent chameleons, and it's like blue to purple, but it's also very green. And then I have like 2 different Cleona multichromes on my eyes. I have mattes from the Genesis palette from Gentian Midas, and I just pulled out a bunch of makeup to put on my eyes tonight. I tapped a little bit of ACI 6 from Plain Jane on top. The matte purple is from Colored Rain. I forget which one it is. It's from Vivid Pigments. Can I read this without my glasses on? Perp Smurf. I sound like a nerd saying that. Yeah. And the 2 multichromes I have on are Oculus and Rosette. So I might have missed something because I just literally grabbed everything purple and blue, and I was like, I'm going to do something purple and blue for Audra's birthday. So that is that. Mermaid Dazzle. Yes. I kind of didn't realize that I was reaching for Oculus when I put it on first. So I was like, oh, it's teal. It's teal to blue to purple. Anyway, that was all because I saw a couple people ask about my highlight. I love the Terra Moon iridescent chameleons as highlights. I don't know how they would actually work on deeper skin because that is not my skin, but you can kind of, it's so funny how green it shows up on camera, but then from here it looks pink to me. Yeah, okay. Well, it literally just looks green. That's helpful. Perfect timing because I just walked through everything.
I want the new Kaleidos.
Yes, I think I'm gonna get the palette. I'm gonna try to resist everything else.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get the palette. I think it's so interesting though if you look at how many people are like,
Agreed.
I don't know, it's giving melt vibes. I'm like, and
I'm like,
and then people being like, I don't know, grunge and pastels. I'm like, perfection. What?
Okay, melt vibes. Melt was giving Urban Decay Naked palette vibes then.
Yeah.
Like, they're not the only brand to do those horizontal palettes. Now, I think that aesthetically I would love for Kaleidos to like not change up their palette style so often? Sure, but it looks really pretty. So yeah, there have been some swatches that have hit. So Beautiful Hag says, curious how the greens compare to Futurism sci-fi greens, though. There was some swatches. They really active on Weibo, the brand has been, and they look more like a yellow-based green. Like they look more like I'm the greens alone, I have to say, I was probably gonna get it no matter what.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive I'm picking it up because I feel like though that palette was made for us, Emily, like a grungy pastel palette. What, bitch?
Yeah. And I just have had, even when I haven't had, like, not every Kaleidos palette has been 100% success in my experience, but their textures, and things make me curious enough to try them.
Yes.
And yes, they have some excellent designers. I agree. Ooh, this is a good way to put it. Olivia said the new Kaleidos palettes give me 60s Biba palette vibes. I love 60s makeup. Yes, Miscellaneous is if you don't follow them on Instagram, they've been doing great posts in their stories, like showing what Kaleidos has been sharing on Weebos. Yeah.
Also, speaking of piling on people on the internet, I'm going to need everybody to go after Abby Williamson because they directly came for me.
Wait, what? I missed that.
Like, what interior decorating trend are you tired of? And basically showed my dresser that I have in my fucking bathroom. I was like, listen, first of all, that's a hand-me-down. Okay? First of all, First of all,
Abby, not everyone has the talented vintage, like, thrifting skills that you do, ma'am.
Well, here's the thing. That was handed down from my ex-husband's grandma, and then I took it when I moved, and then I was gonna get rid of it, and then I realized it fits perfectly in my bathroom. You've seen it, and I was like, oh my god, it fits perfectly in my bathroom, and it's like helping me with my organizational skills, which, y'all,
major progress from Audra.
Before I leave for my birthday, I want to tell y'all, like, the empowerment I have received from figuring out how to organize my life in a way that is beneficial to me as an ADHD and autistic person. So high, because I realized something today as I was like getting everything like kind of put together and I was cleaning up, and I realized that like most of us like have not really been taught how to organize. Yeah. Because we've like lived with people a lot of times until we're like, a lot of us until we're like 23, 24, 25, in that range, sometimes 26, 27. We've been living with other people and like there's these rules, and then like the first time you live by yourself is the first time you get to decide where everything goes, but also you don't have a lot of things. Yeah. And like growing up, you've been told things like clean up. But what does that mean? It's very vague. And as someone who
Or
really
it's
needs
super specific to your family,
yes.
and you have no options to actually adjust that. Also, it's not discontinued. They're adjusting packaging and it's coming back. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Yeah, because they don't listen. Okay, baskets have become. I have these little decorative but functional baskets that I have on my counter. One of them has like Bo stuff in it, like his TREATS. Then the others are like food out in the open, like snacks and like things that I can make that I started putting out in the open for me so that I remembered to eat and all of that stuff. And I'm like, yes, go me. So I've been eating regularly. So that's thing one. Two, I noticed that when the baskets start getting low, I open up the cabinets and like pull things down from it and like put it, because I have to be able to see things. I cannot even be like, I bought shelf, like this weird little, like it should have been like a wall shelf. I just set it on top of my kitchen, like my bathroom sink. I just set it there and put all my bathroom stuff in there. When I tell you the shock, because that's what led me to the baskets. I did that in the bathroom for almost 3 weeks. I kept my bathroom counter clean.
But see, baskets don't have to be basket material.
Yeah, they don't have to be
baskets can be containers. Like I have one that's plastic that I use for like newish makeup. I think the other part of it is that a lot of us never have the money to actually buy furniture we want, buy the organization, because organization shit is expensive. Even if you're buying it at like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods,
it is expensive.
Like, so to actually do what you're doing,
that like thing was $25.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, we haven't really been taught how to clean. Like, you don't think about how often somebody told you to clean up or straighten up.
Well, and the way Diva said it, like neurotypical parents expect you to learn how to organize the neurotypical way and almost never compromise. Also, even if your parents are not neurotypical, I feel like there is a lack of communication of like, this is what cleaning is to me. It's just like you clean, and then when you don't do it good enough, then you get shit about like, what is this? This isn't clean enough. All of this, all of that.
Yeah, because like I feel like we've been taught about the quote unquote appearance of clean. So many of us, whether you are neurotypical or neurodivergent, have learned that things just have to look clean and presentable to people coming in. So what that means is loads of us learn that you like shove things places that aren't seen. And then you grow up and then you like live with people for a long time. And then you live by yourself and you don't have a lot of things. A lot of times you have a like mismatch of stuff because you've lived with people most of your life. So now is the first time you're having to furnish a place on your own. And since you don't have a lot of the furnishings, most of us will have like a good amount of bedroom furniture because you lived in a bedroom. But now you have your own, like either it's a studio apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment of your own. And now you realize you have to like furnish this bitch. You didn't have to furnish the whole of anything. And now is the first time you're going to have to do it. And you don't know how, like when you start furnishing it because you don't have the money, but like you don't know where all your stuff goes and you don't know how to organize the stuff because like all your life you've lived with other people who like you work together to figure out your organization. And now it's the first time in your entire life that you are the decider. You are the one choosing where everything goes. And that makes it very awkward. And you don't know how, especially when you're neurodivergent and especially ADHD neat piles, you have no idea how to fix these neat piles in ways that aren't everywhere. Yeah. Because nobody's ever really told you how to do it. You've learned through most of your life just to hide shit away and look clean. And like that was sufficient.
And so like, again, going to what Diva's saying, clean looks different for many divergent people, especially if you're dealing with different neurodivergencies in each person. Like for some people, the baskets on the countertops would never fucking work. They would drive people. They like it just would never work. And then for other people, you're like, no, it's perfect because I can see everything. I know it. Like you could refill if it's a refillable one. If it's not refillable, you know it's time to buy more, whatever. But like I think that first of all, being organized is unique to everyone's, like, how they
Yes.
work. And
Bye, Samantha. Thank you.
Bye, Samantha. Have a good night. And I also think the idea of what is clean or what is organized is very, very dependent on just what you can afford and what your space can handle.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we see these perfect Pinterest houses, we see it on YouTube, on Instagram, and all these places of like, this is what organized look like, or this is what clean is, or this is what stylish looks like. And so like to match what's stylish, you just like hide things away, like you said, and you don't ever organize them, or you do this or you do that, and you never think, wait, is this actually working for me?
Yeah, and Kay, definitely do that. Like, here's what I'll say, whatever works for you, right? Because like the whole reason I can't really do a lot of stuff on the wall isn't because I live in an apartment. It's actually because I know that the effort it will take me to like, this is how I'll explain it. I just got like, when I was at Marshall's or like Home Goods or whatever, I got a stand-up broom and dustpan, and then like you click it in together. Now, I have like 2 different Swiffer things that are supposed to help me. However, I got them because I thought that they were going to be easy. I was like, oh yeah, get the Swiffer. I know I'm going to catch heat, but the idea that I had to like change out the little fucking pad on it every time, I was like, oh, this is more effort than I want to put in. Because like I'll see things and I'll be like, oh, I need to sweep that. But then I realize like, I got to put the Swiffer pad on and do all this stuff. Thank you, Rami. And then it just becomes like too much of an effort for me. I get like exhausted. I'm like, oh, never mind, forget it. So like and having a dog, I have flooring, laminate flooring, right? And I have a dog who is furry and who sheds like you would not believe. Like he has a very short coat, but he sheds everywhere. Yeah. So it's like I would get all these furry spots, right? The problem with the Swiffer is it required too many steps. 1, you had to put like the new little Swiffer pad on. 2, you actually do need a broom with the Swiffer thing because anything that the Swiffer pad can't pick up, you have to like sweep it. So I was like, there's too many steps. So I ended up getting this broom. This broom, I have been sweeping like a maniac because like every time I see something, I'm like, oh, let me just sweep that up because it's like right there. I grab it and I'm like, and as soon as it's kind of full, I like take it and I like dump it in the trash can. And it's become a very easy process for me to do because it doesn't require all of these extra steps. Yeah. And like, that's a thing that I realized from my ADHD. I realized I can't have things that require too many steps for me to do them because I'm not going to do it. Shadowless, same. I did not like to touch that little pad either. I was like, I can't take it off.
I never really got the hype with the Swiffer sweeper. The moppy ones, like the ones where you could like, it's okay. It's fine. Like I would rather use that than like a mop with like the annoying, like the threads of like rope that you have to squish out and all that. But like for sweeping, I never got it. Cause like you said, you always still have like a little bit you have to sweep up or vacuum up if you have like a little whatever. So yeah, like I think also having like a stand-up broom with the dustpan attached, that's the game changer. It's like, oh, yay, birthday tip.
I love it. That's amazing.
Also, this is great. Have multiples if you need. So like each bathroom for Kay has a bucket of cleaning supplies. Sometimes for me, it's like, and this goes more into body care than cleaning, but sometimes it's cleaning. Like I have a fucking container of Lysol wipes right here because they come in handy. I have one in my bathroom and I live in a small apartment. Or it's like having multiple lip balms around the house or multiple things. Like it doesn't have to just be cleaning.
Please understand that I saw like the shark back wand thing and I was like,
that's also actually pretty handy, I have to say. It's not just shark back. Bissell has some, and so they can vacuum and do mopping like together. I think that might, if you ever wanted like a next step up,
yes, defective shark. It is not unusual for ADHD people to envision multiple step processes, and it's because we know like what happens is a lot of us everything is a multi-step process, right? So it's like, when I end this stream in a few minutes here, I'm going to be like, and it's getting easier because I started organizing. And since I've started organizing and have more things clean and neat, it's lessened my executive dysfunction. Like, my executive dysfunction is not nearly as bad as it used to be. And it's being helped along. And like every day I'm just adding more things to like fix and clean and get this in order so that it can make my life easier. But previously I would have been like, okay, I'm going to end this stream. I need to do this, 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 and this. And I'd be like, oh, let me take a shower. And they'd be like, well, I can't take a shower until I throw away these beer cans. And I'm like, well, you can't throw away the beer cans because today is Valley Trash Day. The trash guys so you're going to have to bring the trash can inside. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to bring the trash. Well, you got to put a new bag in. I'm like, yeah, I got to put a new bag in. Well, and then you have to make sure that you empty all of it. So it would like start breaking up into so many things that I would just be like, yeah, I'm just going to go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, because once I realized it was going to be like all these steps, I'm like, no. It's the same way, like, I realized pretty early, like, I wasn't going to go to med school because I was like, oh, this is a lot of work and I don't think that I'm down for that. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, and I realized that when I was 11. And it's even talking to my mom about my autism now, different from when I would try to talk to her about it years ago, is like, now my mom will be like, oh yeah, I remember when you were younger, you didn't want anyone to touch you. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I get upset, like the fact that she just did, like, people would try to hug me and I would like stiffen up and do this and be like, no, touch me.
Yeah, but that's often viewed as just being a bratty kid. Yeah. We're not taught, especially when you have a child who, like, have a daughter or have like, women in films are not, like, we're not shown signs of autism. Like, it's just not taught. It's not shown. And yes, I do think there's definite, like, valid frustration and anger of like, okay, but why didn't you, like, have a conversation, like, or have multiple conversation with like doctors about these things?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do see a lot of things I get talked about like signs of autism that I'm like, yeah. And like 10, 20, 30 years ago, that was just being a bratty kid that needed to like learn how to listen to rules.
So I'll end it with this.
Yes.
The thing that really, one of the things that really fucked me up, I think I might cry by accident, but I don't know why I'm crying. So there was a thing that said that women, like females with autism, tend to have a rich fantasy life.
Yeah.
And the way that hit into my heart, because people would always talk about disassociation. And I, for a lot of times, just like didn't understand it. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, you mean how, like, I live the majority of my life in my head and I'm oftentimes startled by real life intruding on what's happening in here.
Yeah.
I cannot even begin to explain to people the amount of times I spent like just continuing fantasies. I had because other people would say like, oh, I have a recurring dream. And I would be like, no, it's not recurring, it's continuing. And people would go like, what do you, no, it's recurring. I'm like, no, it's a recurring dream. I had an entire life that went on in my fantasy world with, of all people, Eric Lindros of the Philadelphia Flyers. Like, we're not going to go there, but like, it was a whole thing. It was a romance from start to finish. I could not wait to go to bed because like it would continue every single time. It wasn't like I had the same dream. It was that I would have this dream, it would finish, and then it would stay in my mind all day and continue on. And then like there were parts that would move forward, and then I would go to bed and continue. Like it wasn't even like it stopped from like when I woke up.
No, it wasn't like Groundhog Day or something. Also,
so we spent most of my day here. Most of my day was spent like in my mind where everything was just like chill, and it was wonderful, and it was a place I could be, and nobody was bothering me.
Like, hey, continuous dreams isn't a usual thing.
Like I lived there. And I still do it now. I live in places in my mind that are comforting and comfortable, and they don't, like, I'm fine there. I am quite literally the main character of all of my stories. And so it does make real life very difficult for me in a lot of ways that I hadn't really addressed for most of my life.
Also, I want
And
to say that normal is not normal needs to be banned as a word, not directed at UK.
yeah,
But like what we are supposed to expect is normal, like that no human, very few, nobody falls into that perfect like
yeah.
like what is normal. We are all such unique people. So
Yeah, it's like
you
even right now, like I'm tearing up. I'm like I know like I'm having an emotional response. I don't know what I'm having the emotional response to. I don't
yeah.
know if I'm having it because other people experiencing it. I don't know if I'm having it because of a past sad that has come back to haunt me. I literally never know why.
But
Like,
emotions are complex. You could be reacting to all of it. Like
yeah,
that's the
it's
thing
so
is that
weird for
like
me to like because I could literally count like on a full hardcore cry, like a full like tears fully escaping my eyes. I can almost usually count on one hand how many times it happens in a year.
yeah.
So there were just so many things where I felt like a robot because I didn't respond the way people expected me to respond. I felt like I didn't care. I thought I was a sociopath at one point because I was just like, if I don't know you, I don't care about your problems. Like,
Yeah.
and I just felt like there was something wrong with me because people would do that to me, and they was like, oh well, you know, so and so's having that. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, why are you telling me about this person and their fucking problems? And they would be telling like someone was sick at our job and they were doing this thing, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't even fucking know them. Why are you trying to make me sign their fucking card? Why would I sign their card? And like, I still am like that to this day. I'm like, why am I signing a birthday card for somebody I don't fucking know? And they'd be like, well, they're in our department. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know them. I don't talk to them. Me signing this card is weird. Like, do y'all not think that? I don't like it when y'all bring me fucking birthday cards every year. It's got all these people on it. I'm like, who the fuck is Stacey?
Like it literally means nothing. Also, every person in my life that I love and care about would be considered weird by
Yes.
what you would say are like the cookie cutter humans.
Yeah. That's why,
So
like, some of the things that I share, my favorite one of all time is when, like, and I've told Emily this one where there's this guy who does it, and he has like him and another person. I'm going to say NT and ND as a neurotypical and neurodivergent. So the NT person comes to the ND person and says like, oh, hey, how are you? I hope you had a great weekend. What'd you do? And the ND person tells them. And the NT person sits there and goes like, you know, I noticed that like you don't really ever ask me like how my weekend goes. Like I always ask you and you don't ask me. And then the ND person goes, because I don't really want to know that information.
no.
And that stuff, like that gave me so much like just good feeling because I've spent my life just being like, I don't care. Like why?
Also, like you are the one that came to me with the question.
Thank you.
Like
Why did you
you
ask?
obviously care and I don't. And like for me, because of family and culture and society, I was raised to just like you just respond to make people happy. You're people pleaser. You do the thing. But in my head, I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Like I just don't. And yeah. So it's nice to hear people actually say like, I don't ask the question because I don't care.
I love this. Good night, Anissa. Like, have a
Oh,
good
good
sleep.
night,
I'm
Anissa.
leaving too. So, like,
Yes.
I appreciate all of you who've been here, hung out for my birthday. And I love that you're like, and pretend to be interested. I just can't do it. Like, I'm just like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have so much respect for Audra. When you tell me stories of like work things and all of that.
thank you,
Oh,
T. We're about to go because
I know.
I've been here 2 hours.
It's
I had
been a day.
water
It's been a day.
problems with my eyes.
Oh. Here, I'm just gonna end the stream. I did full juicy swatches of the shadows I have on my eyes, which you can't see the multi-chrome, but they're like, oh, you can't see multi-chrome. Anyway, I just wanted to say yes. Fine. Yeah.
That's the birthday toast.
Yes.
To the last birthday I celebrate live. I appreciate y'all for being here. Moving forward, my birthday will be a silent occasion. Thank you.
We'll be doing whatever the fuck you want. Cheers.
Gonna do what I want to do. Say what I want to say. The Addams family. I don't know why I'm like that as a person. But
on that note,
thank all of you so much for showing up and making my birthday special. I can't believe there's still 82 of y'all in here, but like I thank you so much. I'm looking forward to 41 because honestly, I wasn't even supposed to make it to 40 and I'm glad I did. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. And if you made it this far on the replay, damn, you the real one. I don't even know what to say to you. Mwah.
And thank you, Audra, for letting me celebrate your birthday celebrations with you.
Thank you, my friend. Like, remember, y'all, $0 to be kind. It's so good for your soul. Because if you don't take care of it, I'm sure it's coming for yours. Until next time, XOXO. Got the girl.